What is going on in lawn care and landscape enthusiasts? Welcome to the Green Collar Podcast. I am your host, JWD. A little, hey, how are you? Hopefully you guys are doing well. We are going to be talking about grass today. Freaking grass. Yes, because we are getting close to the opening day up here in the north to lawn care season 2026. I can't fucking wait. I'm so excited, dude. I was just down in Florida for my honeymoon down on Anna Maria Island in Florida. Dude, if you guys ever get the chance to go, if you're from the up north, go down in like a middle March to early April, dude. It is gorgeous, man. I was down there. I got a little tan cooking. Look at me, dude. Shit, bro. Shit. You know what I'm saying? That was fucking cringy as hell. But I was down there with my wife for our honeymoon, and it was amazing. If you guys ever get the chance to go down to that island, so relaxing, so quiet, and you won't have a bad meal. Every restaurant is so fucking good. And the coast is absolutely beautiful, man. The Gulf Coast is just gorgeous. So if you guys get a chance, go down there. But the other thing while I was down in Florida is for you Southern boys, you guys have been mowing, man, like consistently. I'm jealous because I was down there and the place we were staying at, we looked out the window and there's a crew of guys mowing grass. And I'm like, hold up. It's March. What the hell are we doing? Well, it's way too early to be mowing grass, right? Like, what the hell are we doing? But alas, it is not down there. You guys mow grass all year long, and it was very cool, though, and very inspiring, truthfully. And it got my juices flowing a little bit to kind of get back out there and mow some freaking grass and make some tall grass short. I really am excited for this season. I cannot wait. But first things first, before we hop in this video today, I kind of have a little ad. It's my own ad. I'm not sponsored by these guys. It's my own ad. It's my own company with my wife that we started back in 2023. We took a little hiatus from because we had to plan the wedding in 24, then have the wedding in 2025, then the honeymoon. You know how it gets if you've been in planning a wedding kind of mode. It takes up most of your time other than your work. So we took a little hiatus. We are back this year with our candles. Yes, our Laurel Candle Co. is our company that we started back in 2023. And it's the reason we started it was because we love candles. We always wanted to have a candle burning within our house. It's very relaxing. It obviously builds the aroma in the house. It's just a nice, cozy feel, right? And there is no shame as a man liking candles, all right? So as we get closer to Mother's Day, though, and also if you have a girlfriend or wife who has a spring birthday, as I do, this could be a great gift. We sell these. They are 12-ounce soy candles. They're all handmade. We are a small business, family business. There's nothing like manufactured or we don't go through third party or white label. We make all of these by hand, okay? This is a purely soy wax candle. So these are the details you're going to want to tell your wife and girlfriend or mother when you buy this, okay? These are the details they want to know. Us guys, we don't care about the details. We just like the scent of it, and that's it. But these are important to your wife or girl. So remember this, 100% soy wax, all handmade, different scents, 12 ounce, great burn time. Make sure you trim your wicks though. We sell these for $12.99 on our website, laurelcandleco.com. Our spring collection currently is the Rose and Vanilla, which I have in my hand right here. There we go. Rose and Vanilla, Fresh Lemon, Mountain Laurel, which is our signature scent because of the state flower for Pennsylvania, the Mountain Laurel. We have Fresh Cut Roses, which is more of the florally scent one with the Mountain Laurel. We have just standard vanilla bean, lavender and lemongrass, and I think that's it. And then we also have our summer collection, which is Island Hibiscus, Ocean Breeze, and Mango, which will be on your screen right now. You guys can check it out at laurelcandleco.com in the description below. It's a great gift for your mother or any of your loved ones in your life or just for your office. Just saying. So let's hop into this video. Let's talk about grass. Yeah, we're going to be talking about grass today. So what are we meaning when we talk grass? What are the things that we are going to be discussing within today's video? I really want to just talk about the different mowing heights for the season. Now, again, this is more for us northern guys, not really the southern guys. You guys have already been mowing. Also, I don't mow your guys' grass type. I don't mow St. Augustine. I don't mow Bermuda grass. I don't mow centipede. I don't mow zoysia. Some properties we have a little bit of zoysia in, which is a little weird, but we don't really do those kinds of properties. We mainly do, in our area at least, Kentucky bluegrass and perennial ryegrass. Sometimes you have properties that are more fine fescue or tall fescue. I have one property that's tall fescue. Not a huge fan, but It is what it is. But for us, mainly it is Kentucky blue or perennial ryegrass. That's usually what we actually do when it comes to seeding jobs for any properties in our area that we are doing a seeding job or sod job. It's usually perennial ryegrass or Kentucky blue or a mix of both. So when it comes to our discussion today, we are going to be talking about mowing heights for each season when it comes to mowing that specific type of grass. We are also going to talk about blades. We are going to talk about which blades are better for each season to have on your mower. We're not going to go in depth. I've made a video about that in the past. You guys could check it out up here. I think it's in that corner. For any blade types and where you can get them and things like that that'll fit your specific mower, and talking more in depth about what are the perks of having, high lift blades versus the standard lift versus the gator blades versus every other type of blade there is. I mentioned it in the video up there in the top right. You guys can check it out if you guys want to go in depth for mowers for the season. So we are mainly going to be talking about which heights of you should be setting your mower at for spring and summer and fall. But we're mainly going to be talking about spring because that is the season we are entering in right now. What mower blade type should you be rocking in the spring? The high lift. The high lift is the best mower blade type for spring, and truthfully, it's the best blade type there is out there on the market. And the reason I say that is because it does everything you want it to do in cool season grass types. The only time that I've ever interchanged from the high lift blade is in the fall, when you do get more of those leaves on the property that you want to maybe chop up a little bit finer. I rock the gator blades in the fall, usually around like mid-October to the end of the season. But in the springtime, the best blade type is high lift because it throws things further, especially when you have the thick growth that comes with spring. For us up here in the north, we have very thick grass that grows very rapidly in the spring months. April and May usually are the big two, sometimes into June, but mainly it's April and May that first hit in the growth cycle when it comes to turf. So high lift blades, it throws it and it scatters it way better, especially when they're sharp. Now, that's the other thing we're going to talk about later in this video, about sharpening blades and making sure your blades are sharp each time you cut. Because if you're mowing with dull blades, it's actually worse for the lawn and the growth of the lawn. So don't do that. We'll talk about that in a sec. So here's where we're going to get into the bulk of this video and this topic. What are the best heights to mow at when it comes to spring? I personally, and I've made every mistake in the book when it comes to my business, when I say that in these videos, I truly mean it. When I started mowing back, years ago, I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just mowing to mow. I didn't really care what the property or the health of the grass. I didn't care. I just wanted to get it in, get in, get out, and be done, right? So I was mowing in the incorrect height, and it was actually doing more good or more damage than good for my customers' properties. And when I made the change and started to learn more about the grass types that we were cutting, I made the adjustments, and that actually boosted the health of the lawn and made me more money because I was able to keep up with growth and mow way more frequently than versus the way I was mowing before. So a lot of guys in my area in the spring and summer months, they mow at the same height every single time they mow. And the reason for that, I think, is because they're not trained properly. I think that a lot of the bigger companies, they don't really take too much time to train these guys. They just throw them on a machine, set the height for the day, and that's it. You don't really want to do that, okay? You want to only cut a third off of the grass each time. This is called the 1/3 rule. A lot of us lawn care guys know this by heart. You should understand it and learn about it because it is so crucial when it comes to the grass's health. If you are cutting a lot more off of that, it's going to look yellowy. It's not going to look great. It's actually going to put more strain on the lawn itself. And you don't really want that because especially lawns that have been treated with fertilizer and things of that nature, you're actually doing more damage to a property and you're wasting your customers' money. I always say, and I've seen it all the time with these bigger companies where they're not training their guys to understand that rule and they just set a height for the day. Every lawn is different. Every lawn's growth cycle is different. For a lot of these, some customers, I don't have that use fertilizer and lawn treatments. They don't utilize that, right? So their growth cycle is different than one that is heavily fertilized. You have to understand the 1/3 rule because if you are going in at the same height every single day for every single property, Some of those lawns, it might be the right height, but some of those lawns, it might not be. And now you're doing more damage to those lawns. And it's not beneficial to your company because those customers are going to be annoyed by it and they're going to go with somebody different who maybe does know the 1/3 rule and understands, hey, I'm treating my lawn. I'm spending $1,000 a year on treatments for my lawn. I want my lawn to look the best it can. So, what is the 1/3 rule? And I'll explain it to you. But I recommend you do more of a deep dive in this. I'm just going to cover the basis of what it is. It means you're only cutting off 1/3 of the blade each time you make a pass. This is very crucial because if you mow too low or you take too much off, it's going to add more of that yellowy tint to it. And it also creates stress onto the turf on the property, which I just mentioned a little bit before. The other reason why you should not be mowing more than 1/3 off of each cut is because it actually encourages more weed growth. It actually encourages more stress on a lawn where when it comes to those summer months, if you're mowing at a certain height in the spring and you're taking too much off each time you cut and it's too short, well, in the summertime when it's super hot out and super dry, you're encouraging drought-like things, which by the way is not good for your customer's lawn, but also it's not good for you. You're not going to be mowing anything because the grass ain't growing. So it's very crucial that you understand the 1/3 rule and understand the properties that you have and the grass types that you have so you know what height you should be cutting at. So what are the ideal heights to be cutting at and setting your lawn care to? Again, if you're cutting and going by the 1/3 rule, this should pretty much be rinse and repeat. Usually for the spring, April to May months, I like to cut it a little bit shorter and have it established at around 3.5. That's usually what is our sweet spot with when it comes to Kentucky blue or perennial ryegrass. I mow a little bit higher than most guys do in my area or most guys in general because I like my lawns to look very green and lush and beautiful. Mowing higher is a very good thing for a lawn. And the reason for that is specifically, and the biggest reason for it, in my personal opinion, is because when you get to those summer months and you start to mow even higher in the summer, it protects the lawn. It protects the lawn from drought-like conditions. It prevents the root system from drying out, where you get that brown, almost desert-like look to it. It's very good to mow higher. A lot of guys I see in the springtime, they're mowing way too low, and then it comes to summer and they're mowing at the same height, and now it's drought like, and it looks awful. It looks like a desert. You don't want that. You want to keep working, but you also want your customer to be happy, dude. Now, some of that you just can't prevent. If you go a month or two without rain, it's impossible to have grass grow. It's just impossible. And 90-degree plus weather, it's impossible. So you're going to have those kinds of years. I had one 2 years ago where it went dry from June until late October. It was rough, but there's nothing you can do about that. But most times in July and August, especially in the Northeast, it doesn't rain a whole lot and it's hot as shit out. If you're able to prevent some of those drought-like conditions by mowing higher when it comes to the spring, but also in the summer, it'll allow you to continuously work while also keeping your customers happy with the lawn care the lawn care service that they're getting. So like I said, 3.5 is usually our sweet spot for April and May. And then I'll bump it up in June through probably late August, early September to 4, maybe 4.25. And then in the fall, I like to knock it down back to 3.5. And then as we go through October to the end of the season, continuously knock it down to 3. And then eventually you do your final mow where it's real short to prevent any kind of fungus, any kind of layover from the turf when you push down with your tires and things of that nature. Things can grow underneath that. You don't want that. So it's better for your lawn when it goes into dormancy to mow a little bit lower in the fall. But in springtime, I recommend 3.5 for perennial ryegrass or Kentucky blue. They're very similar. So that will be my recommendation for you guys. 3.5 to 3.75, maybe if you guys want to mow even a little bit higher, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to keep up with growth, 3.5 is your best bet, and it keeps the lawn looking kind of, not overgrown each week that passes in between cuts. For fine fescue, though, for tall fescue, excuse me. For tall fescue, it's a little bit different. You want to mow a little bit higher each time that you mow because it is tall fescue. Like that, it grows very quickly and you want to keep up with it, but also you should be mowing higher. That's just the general rule of thumb when it comes to fine or tall fescue. You'll see much better results when it comes to mowing higher for tall fescue. So the reason why I recommend mowing lower than 4 when it comes to springtime for Kentucky blue and perennial ryegrass is because it actually helps remove any dormant grass that died. Obviously, dethatching and things of that nature, if you offer those services, will do the job for you. But it also encourages the root system to grow as it's growing rapidly. If you are mowing at 4.25 in the springtime, you're going to be having to mow every other every other 3 days, and you can't keep up with that. And your customer is going to be annoyed by it because it's going to look overgrown. It's going to look a little shaggy. You don't want that. So I recommend 3.5 because it keeps up with growth. It's not damaging the lawn, and it's actually encouraging better growth through the season. So I recommend 3.5, and that's why you mow a little bit lower than 4 in the springtime. Sometimes, depending on the lawn, if it's a very lush green lawn, I'll bump it up to 3.75 or 4 for those specific properties. And then in the summertime, I bump it up to like 4.25. And as I've mentioned, the reason you mow higher in summer is to prevent that. If you have more grass that is taller as it lays over, it actually protects the root system from being burnt out by hot temperatures and also lack of rain. That is the bigger reason why you mow higher and keeps you mowing throughout the summer months rather than taking a week off because the grass hasn't grown at all. It'll allow you to keep mowing, but also is adding benefit and health to your lawn by mowing a little bit higher and protecting the root system from being burnt by the sun and when it gets up to 90, 95 degrees, maybe even 100. So you want to make sure you're mowing a little bit higher pretty much the rest of the season until about October, mid-October. Then you bump it down to get ready for the dormant season. So that leads me into my last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to mowing. Why this goes hand in hand with height of mowing is sharp blades. Here is the reason why I personally believe that a lot of guys don't keep up with this, and I get it. It's efficiency. If you're not keeping up with sharpening your blades, I get it. I've made the mistake too. But you really, 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 really should sharpen your blades. In my opinion, in the spring, every other day, or at least have a sharp set in the truck ready to go, or trailer ready to go to interchange throughout the day, because it makes such a difference. But also, if you mow with dull blades, you are going to be ripping rather than cutting. And ripping actually adds more stress to a lawn's growth, and it's also going to look worse. It'll get a little white tip at the top. You don't want that because it actually is very bad for the lawn itself, but it also looks pretty crappy. So make sure that you are utilizing sharp blades within any part of your lawn care business because it is so crucial for the health of the lawn, but it also gets you in and out faster on properties. If you're having to go over things 3 or 4 times, that takes up time in your day, takes up fuel. We all know where the fuel prices are going currently. We don't want that. If you are utilizing sharp blades and you can, in the springtime, maybe double cut, and in the summertime, maybe only single cut, that saves you time within your day and your route to get in and out of places quicker and on to the next one. Another recommendation when it comes to mowing, and this also goes hand in hand with mowing heights, is you have to make sure that you are changing up directions when it comes to your lawn care. I know we like our stripes. We like it to look awesome. We like the diamonds. We like everything about it. It's beautiful. It looks like a resort. It looks like a golf course. But it's actually not great for the lawn if you continuously make the same pass every single week. It's not good for it because each time you make that pass, the tires just keep pushing and pushing and pushing it down, but also will create ruts in the lawn because the machines are heavy, especially in the springtime. If you are mowing the same direction each time you mow, the soil is not dry like it is in the summertime. It's a little damp because of the rain that we get in the springtime. It can create ruts in the lawn and then it becomes bumpy, and you don't want that. So make sure you guys are switching up your directions, perpendicular if you want, or just making sure that you're going in a perpendicular or different direction each time you cut or every other cut. So That's my personal thing. Like I said, I've made that mistake too. And I've learned from it that you have to make sure your customer is happy with their lawn care, especially these people that are paying $1,000+ to treat their lawn with fertilizer and chemical. That is something that you have to take into consideration when you are handling somebody's lawn care, because that's their money that they are spending. And if you're basically ruining what the other lawn treatment guy's doing, you're not bringing anything to the customer. They'll go with somebody else who knows what they're doing. So make sure you change up direction and make sure that you can keep your lawns looking as clean as possible. The other thing that I recommend when it comes to lawn care, especially in the springtime, is do not bag your grass. Do not bag it. And the reason I say that, and this leads me into the next thing I'm going to say, is grass clippings add nutrients to a lawn. Okay, so using the high lift sharp blades on your mower, you can scatter that grass really well throughout the lawn, and it actually builds nutrients naturally into the lawn itself and into the soil itself. So it's a good thing to have. You don't need a bagger unless you're doing a cleanup or something like that where there's leaves and debris. That's different. But when it comes to just cutting grass, make sure you take that bagger off. You don't need it. Make sure you're scattering that grass throughout. And it leads me into the next thing I say: do not leave clumps in the lawn for 2 reasons. This is one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to lawn care. If you leave clumps of grass, like grass you've already cut in a lawn, it does 2 things. One, it'll basically just sit there and it will kill the grass underneath it that's already growing. It won't get any sunlight. It's not good for the grass. Second, it looks like absolute dog shit. Make sure if you have that, take a backpack blower, scatter that shit real quick, and get in the truck and go to your next place. You don't want to leave clumps on the grass. It looks really crap and trashy. You don't want that for your customer, but it's also actually doing damage to that spot on the lawn. It's the reason we get leaves off lawns in the fall time. You do not want leaves on your lawn in the fall because it basically kills anything underneath it because it's not getting any sunlight. So make sure you are scattering that grass. If you have any clumps, maybe it's wet, make sure you try to scatter all that grass with a backpack blower, or if you need to, go over it again with the blower, or go over it again with the mower with the deck raised. That's usually what I do. It makes it a little bit more efficient, especially during those wet, rainy days. It's easier to do with the mower rather than just doing it with a backpack blower. But if you only have a few, just run the backpack blower. You're already going to use it to clean up the walks and driveways. Just go over it real quick. It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take much out of your day to make sure the property is looking as best it can. And this one, the last one, I'm going to say, do not mow in extreme heat and or frost. This one should be known. This one, you guys shouldn't really even need, I shouldn't even have to say it. If it is super hot and super dry, do not mow. Do not put a mower on there for 2 reasons. One, the blades get super hot. So when you cut that grass, you're burning it. And number 2, the tires get super hot. And they're pushing down on the grass when it's already strained, when it's already stressed. Do not mow when it's 90. If you feel like you are like, hey, this is an iffy one, it hasn't grown much, go with your gut and say, hey, it hasn't grown much. We don't need to mow this lawn. Yes, you're taking the hit on revenue, but go do something different that day. Go do a shrub pruning job, or go pressure washer, whatever you can do differently, or work on your business. Do not put a mower on that property. You will cause so much damage to that property. It's not worth it. It's not worth the 45, 50, 60 bucks that you're going to get from that one cut. It's just not worth it, okay? Do not mow in an extreme drought or excessive heat. It is not good for lawns, and it's actually not great for your machines either. So just letting you know, do not do that. I know you guys already know this, but please, for anyone starting out in July and August, if we get weeks where it hasn't rained and it's 90+ degrees and you're going, hey, this hasn't grown much, I don't think I should mow it. Don't just do it to make money. All right. You'll cause more damage in the future and you'll lose actually money if you do that. The other thing that I'll say is do not mow if there is a frost on the lawn. And the complete opposite of what I just said. Of the climate, at least. Do not mow if there's a frost on the lawn. It is terrible for the grass. It'll actually really damage the lawn. Do not do that. It's not even really great to walk on a lawn when there's frost on it. Don't put a heavy ass machine on it. Don't put any more strain on a lawn, especially in the fall where it's going into its dormancy. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Wait for the frost to be done or what have you, whatever you need to do. Just don't do that. And those are two things that I think everybody should know by now. But if you're just starting out, those are things that I wish I had known back when I first started out. So that being said, my recommendation to end this video is mow high. Mow higher. If you feel like you're mowing too low, bump it up. If you're starting to see things that are scalping or getting that yellow tint, or you just see damage starting in the lawn or it's drying out, bump it up. Bump it up as to 4 to 4 1/4. If you are, this is my rule of thumb. Yes, learn the 1/3 rule, but also mowing higher adds so much more benefit to a lawn than if you were to mow low just to keep up with efficiency. Mowing high will keep your customers happy. They'll have green grass for a long time. It's more beneficial for a lawn. Mow higher. That's the way I live. That's what I believe. It's something that I've instilled in my company for my guys to know. It's something that I think for you guys starting out, mow higher. Just tell your customers. They're going to be like, hey, can you mow it shorter? Just be like, listen, it's better for your lawn if we mow it higher. Trust me. And believe me, they will realize their error of their ways when they were mowing their lawn because they probably scalped the shit out of it, as most homeowners do. But for all you dads out there, you know, mow higher. It's so much better for your lawn, and it'll keep you working throughout the summer months. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. It really does mean a lot for all of us to have a conversation in the comments below. What are you guys mowing at this spring? What kind of grass are you mowing this spring? What machine are you, what brand of machine are you using? I'd love to know everything about your company in the comments below. It really is something that I try to do a lot on this channel. If you guys could leave a like and subscribe, that would be amazing. It really does help us out on growing this channel. I can't wait for spring, boys. I'm so excited. It's almost, well, it is here. Spring is here, but I'm excited for the weather to start really changing for us here in PA. I can't wait to get back out there on a mower. I'm super excited. Lastly, check out Laurel Candle. If you guys haven't yet, check them out for Mother's Day. Check them out for birthdays. Check them out for your office. They are great. I love them. I have one in my office right now. I interchange them all the time. They are handmade. It is a small family business that I own with my wife. Check them out, laurelcandleco.com. And I will see you guys in the next one.